Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm Terry, and if you're here, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm more than happy to have you. It's been a great weekend for me, and with that, I'd like to say, oops, I did it again, but it's okay. This is the part 2 of a part 1 video on narcissism. And again, I will preface it with the most important thing to me. All of you who have been here with me know that I am the most passionate, loving animal advocate. Animals are the most important and the most dear, the most significant to me. With that, I am a real person. I have real life experiences. I've had good experiences and I've had very adverse experiences. I'm a former inmate and I'm a current lifer. Um, I don't regret my past, but I will say this. If I had been at the beginning of it, looking up at everything that was ahead of me that I would have to climb, I would have said no and I would have kicked and screamed. But now that I'm on the other side of it and still on a journey and still a work in progress, I don't regret the past because the past is what has made me the better person that I am today. Um, I will say this. I am not, and you guys are not the sum of your past. The past is a part of what's made you, and your present and the future can make you better. Remember, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, it does get so much better when you persist. And when you persist in a good way, it's hard. So, with that, I'd like to say that in this part 2 of a part 1 video on narcissism, the past couple of weeks, I've really gone through something very uh, immensely difficult for me, and I'll say searingly hurtful. But this is the first time ever that it's been so profoundly impacting me. It's been the most impactful experience in narcissism um, thus far. And yes, I've made notes to keep my thoughts together. Um, in part 1, I vlogged to you guys about an experience that I had with somebody in the past week. At that point, it had been about a week. Now it's been about 2 weeks. And this is not a romantic relationship at all whatsoever. It's on the opposite end of the spectrum of that, in fact. Um, but this is somebody who was one of the most important people in my life. One who I loved immensely. Um, and one even now who I will say deserves to be loved. However, what I've seen of this person, I can never unsee. Um, and that's part of the better person that I've become. Um, if this was the past me, I would have continued in this vein and I would have continued to be hurt and to exist in this place of pain. But the new me was able to let go very easily. But when I say easy, I don't mean that it didn't hurt. It did hurt. But it was different this time. It was different in a bad way, but also in a very, very good way, a very positive way, because something was uncovered to me about myself that I could never see before. And I didn't know if I would ever be able to see. They say that the love that you so seek, and I personally have always desperately sought love. I wanted to be loved so badly by others. I grew up without love. I grew up the child of malignant sociopathic parents and family. My entire family, my relatives are that way. I am the only one who grew up as an empath. As a result of this, I'm no longer an empath. I'm just a learned person now. And but yeah, I always craved love more than usual. And how do we define usual, really? Um, and I would do just about anything to be loved or to be what I thought was loved. And I never felt loved. They always say that you should find love within yourself. And I never thought that I would be able to do that because I didn't know quite what it meant. And now, as a result of this experience in the past 2 weeks, I have found that, and I know that I am, and I feel so loved, so favored. And this is so important to me that I found this. I pinpointed it. I wasn't looking for it. And I believe that this person came back into my life, appeared for a reason. And I believe that this was the overriding reason, is because I had something else to learn. I didn't know or think that I had anything else to learn. Although I've always said that I'm still on a journey, I just thought that maybe, or I had hoped or deluded myself that, yeah, in all of my adversities in my life, oh, now I know everything. And I didn't. And this served as that lesson that needed to come. And I was ready to learn it, although I didn't know it at the time and I didn't feel it. Um, but it happened. Um, this person this person's actions that hurt me so much resulted in me learning so much. It's so profound. Because that inner love that people talk about is your higher self that loves you immensely. I've said this, I'm spiritual. A long time ago I used to believe in God. I don't anymore, because I believe that everything that's said really is meant about the higher self. The higher self is the one you made a pact with to be here. Why you choose the circumstances that you choose, because you have things to learn. And I've come out on the other side of these things. I am one of the strongest people. I'm a soldier. I am unbroken and unbreakable. I have a lot of haters, because, they're narcissists. And that's what I've attracted um, throughout my existence, and I always felt like I only existed, that I never really lived. And I attracted narcissists to myself. But this is a different relationship, a different capacity that this person is in. And it is what it is. I had a similar experience last year with somebody else in the same capacity. And so, as a result of that, I thought that I had learned everything and I knew everything, but I didn't. And this brought it to me because it was time. It's really true. You don't know how much you can take until you are forced to take it. And when I had to take it in these past couple of weeks, I took it. I took it like a champ. Um, I am sorry that it happened this way, but the other person is what the other person is, and I cannot change that. To us, if we're healthy, and what is healthy? If we're not narcissists, to us everything is real. To us everything is heartfelt. To them, it's all a game. Every promise, every broken promise, every lie, every declaration, every claim, every episode of love bombing is all a game. Because that is what they are, and they're not capable of caring about you. They're not capable of loving you. They can't love themselves and they can't love you. And there's nothing you can do to change it. Therapy and counseling will never change them. This is something inherent in them. And even when they're love bombing you and making a declaration and making plans with you, making a pact with you, even when they say, oh, I realized what I did and I shouldn't have done that, I apologize. I've had an epiphany. I've seen the light. It's all a game. None of it is true. To you, it's a mirage because it depends on your perspective. My perspective was that I wanted to be loved so much, and in its own right, I wanted this person in my life for the longest time. I fought for this person for the longest time. I tried my best for this person, and it never happened. So there came a time when I decided that I was going to leave it alone and still keep my love and good thoughts of this person in mind, and that's how it would be. And if it was meant to be different, one day it will be. And this person 2 weeks ago reached out to me on social media and followed me, came for me on social media, and I was so happy. I was so overjoyed. I was so excited. And I poured out that love. I gave away my power, because in the world of narcissism, anything that you do in love, anything that you do, even in the truest form, is giving away your power. And even when I finished it with this person, I fell one more time. Because after I made that first vlog, I received some very angry messages, and I internalized that anger from that person, and I immediately felt bad. I immediately felt bad for feeling my true feelings. And so I gave away my power one more time. I did it again. I thought I wouldn't, but I did. And I did it immediately. I contacted this person and I said, well, you said all of these things. And then the next day it was bam, gone with you. Why would you do that again? We talked about this. You promised me. You said that you would never do this again. To the narcissist, 1 minute it's up, and literally the next minute it's down. Things change from moment to moment, and I do mean from moment to moment. And this is consistently the same with all narcissists. You guys, I want to recommend a YouTuber and somebody who is amazingly spot on with her information that she brings publicly to all people, and it's such a great thing. Her social media name is The Little Shaman, and she is great with her information. And for inspiration and motivation, I really recommend Steve Harvey. I've been listening to his work. I've been listening to it, and it's so good. It's Steve Harvey and Little Shaman are the only two that lately I've been able to focus on because I have anxiety disorder and attention deficit. So it's really difficult for me to focus on one thing for any extended period of time. And this is the first time in what feels like forever that I listen to it, and it's so good and it speaks to you. I can't speak on um, Steve Harvey in his personal life, the type of person that he is, what's been said about him. Um, that's all fine, but I can speak for him as a speaker. His motivation and inspiration is so wonderful. It really speaks to you and it really helps. As for the Little Shaman, her information on narcissism is spot on, and I recommend that you listen to those two because they really are something else when they speak. With that, looking at my notes, the second time when I got past that hurt and I realized that there will never be any turning back. If I fell again, that was my mistake. I take responsibility for it. This person again did exactly what was done the last time around, and I was even blocked on the social media where this person found me. Okay. I wish you all the best in life, and I hope that you take care of yourself, and I hope that you can do well for yourself in every way. I wish you love, but it's over for us, and that's all there is to it. What I saw, I can never unsee, and the new me, the better me, doesn't want to. That's the difference, is that I genuinely and truly don't want to. The old me would have wanted to deny that this is what it is, because I just would want to push and feel loved at whatever price it came, and it always came at such a price to me, at such a cost. And in the end, was I really loved by any of those people? I would say no. This time, I have real love. I can never turn back from the light of the truth. Not to be dramatic, but once you've seen the light, it's so bright, and in a way, it's so beautiful, it's so magnificent. And by that I mean, once your eyes have been opened and you're willing to face the truth, and you're willing to see things for what they really are and not for what you want them to be, it's so freeing. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this experience, even. Because remember, when something comes along, if it was good, it's a memory. If it was bad, it's a lesson. And this was a lesson. I will repeat that. This was an unforgettable lesson. But I'm through. I will never fall again. And it took me to fall the second time to not ever fall again, because I can't. I have no fucks left to give in me. I have nothing left to give. And in some ways, it just frees you. It frees you. And sometimes It takes getting to that point for you to stop being the way that you were, the way that allowed you to be so harmed and damaged. Because some of us, myself included, I am one of those, don't learn and don't want to learn, don't want to face the truth and use it until you have no other choice. And when you have nothing left to give, that's the point where you have no other choice. But I see it, my eyes are open now. And I'm fine with it. This time around, the first time I was so angry. This time around, I'm not angry. I'm burnt out and I'm over it. I'm done. There's nothing that I wish from that street anymore. That street can stay where it is. They say when somebody wants to leave your life, let them go. Don't force them to stay. Don't try to force them to stay. And I say you left and you can stay gone. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not bitter. I'm not like that anymore. I've had such a good weekend. It's been so beautiful. It's like my energy came back. It's like my creativity came back. So much good came to me. And things have been actually starting to go better because it really is your perspective and your attitude. And I will quote this. Attitude is altitude. Yeah. Your attitude determines where you go. Not all days are going to be perfect or even near perfect, but I have so much that I want to say that I'll probably not get a chance in this vlog. But, you know, I've seen the light. You know, people talk about suffering and betrayal. There's always going to be suffering, but was the betrayal really a betrayal if that person was never for you to begin with? I believe that I was taunted because of my love for this person. I believe that I was teased because this person somehow knew how much I loved. My love for this person. It's not right, but now it's okay. Because narcissists don't have the capacity to care. You can tell them what hurts you, and they'll turn around and use that to hurt you again. And it certainly doesn't mean they care. They might say they care. They might say, oh, I would never do that to you. But they will. At some point, they will. See, some narcissists come into your life very briefly, and some are here for a long time. I've had different types of relationships where a narcissist was in my life romantically for a long time. And it took me a lot of back and forth until I cut it off. And then when I cut it off, I was genuinely done because I had enough. And I had no more left to give that. And that became a good thing. This is a different relationship in a different capacity, but I asked myself, was I really betrayed? Because I never had that person's loyalty to begin with. Somebody else had that person's loyalty. And this is where I want to say that person is not Jeff, but I just want to say, Jeff, you won. But what did you really win? You won by default, and you won something broken, which you broke as a result of your behavior and your actions. This is your prize and you can keep it because I genuinely don't want this prize. And no healthy person would. I still wish love for this person. I wish all of the good things. Yet, the other day I thought about something. And I've mentioned this before. I'm not fond of humans. I don't like humans because they're evil. I love animals beyond all. My love is genuine and all-encompassing. And that's that. When I say that I don't love humans, I'm not fond of them, I don't like them even. Here's the thing though. I still have interactions with them and I still have opinions. And actually the other day, I felt this level of concern for people. I thought the same person and the other one as well, L and O, who did what they did to hurt me, this is who and what they are. That they're going to go on throughout their lives to do this to other people. And I felt bad for those people in the future that will be hurt inevitably by these people. Because I am those people. I used to be that vulnerable person. I used to be that person who craved love so badly. I used to be that person who wanted to believe everything but what the facts were. I am all of those people. And so I felt bad. But then I thought of something. Hold on. Things have really changed. It used to be that nobody really knew what narcissism is. It was briefly labeled as a personality disorder in medical manuals, but there was never any deep explanation or anecdotes for it. Now, the information superhighway is the information super duper duper highway. There's so much information, not just on the daily, but on the hour and on the minute from so many different people and so many different sources on malignant sociopaths and narcissism that people are so informed now, they are so educated that so much less of it can be pulled over their head. So they know now, people know now, they know so much more. I mean, exponentially more than used to be available. And so the good news is that they can't really win in their games anymore because people are so educated, you know, and narcissism is part of the fiber of their being. You cannot change it. You cannot love it away. I tried. Won't happen. And the good thing is that I see that. You cannot change yourself to change it away in the other person. Won't happen. It's in the fiber of their being. It is their being. Narcissism is something that they're born with, or it develops so early in life that it's a part of them. And I'll give an example. When I was approximately in the 4th or 5th grade, I lived in Portland, Oregon with my grandparents and my mother because my parents were always separated. They were on and off, on and off. During one of those periods, we lived in Portland, Oregon. And when I went to school, I had to go outside where there were these really pretty outdoor steps that led to the school bus stop on a hill. And every morning I would meet a couple of girlfriends, or I thought they were my friends, Megan and Jenny. Jenny was a really nice girl, but she, like me, wanted to be accepted. You know, Megan was cruel. And keep in mind how we were little, how young we were. And so there was this game that was played between the three of us. but it was played on Jenny and myself by Megan, where Megan on the daily, actually on the daily, 5 days a week, because 5 days a week we were at that bus stop to wait for the school, the big yellow school bus. And it was quite a wait. So what Megan would do is every day she would bring something different, maybe a candy cane, a different peppermint, something that I really liked. And she would be my friend that day. And the two of us were supposed to not be Jenny's friend. But then another day she would bring something different that Jenny liked and they wouldn't be my friend. And the way that Megan would construct and conduct this was that all three of us would be standing there talking and giggling and having a good time, and then Megan would come up with something like, hey Terry, did you bring that book that I was going to show you that picture of something in, or so I was like, yeah, you know what, I did bring it, hold on, let me run back to where I have my pile of things. So in the short period that it took me to run back to where I had my pile of belongings and get that book and bring it back, Megan and Jenny had stopped talking to me, because I bring it back and go, okay, here it is. And they would just look at me smirking. I'd be like, okay, here it is. Hello. And they wouldn't be talking to me. And Megan would look at Jenny, and that was the cue of, haha, look at how she's suffering. And it was really frightening. I mean, at that age, it was frightening. I mean, it was just like, it had turned into one of my phobias. Like, oh my God, why did you stop talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you doing this to me? And this was something that would happen 5 days a week. Some days it was Megan and me. Some days it was Megan and Jenny. It was always 2-on-1. So that's what I mean. It's in the fiber of their being. If a 4th or 5th grader can execute it flawlessly like that, just imagine. You can't change these people, but your perspective is what allows you to suffer through it, or to say, no, I see what's going on and I'm not going to do it, or I see what's going on and I've had enough of it and I'm done. Your perspective is everything. And my perspective was, I always wanted to be loved. I always wanted to be accepted. I always wanted to be wanted. And that's what it was. For example, yesterday, I went to the store. I parked my car and it was a little crooked. I do that. It's just how I park my car. I'm guilty of that. And another guy came along and he parked his car behind me, and I was out of my car. I was standing by my door, getting ready to go in the store. And when he pulled up, I kept staring at his car, staring at the parking slot, and then staring at him, waiting to see if he was going to ask me to straighten out my car so that I could do it for him, because it was on me. So, he didn't say anything about my car, so I continued on. I went in the store, bought what I needed to buy. At some point, I dropped all of my things, so I bent over and I picked them all up, finished shopping, came out, and there was a note on my car that said, "You're mad pretty, but you seem so shy. Call me." And I started laughing. That was his perspective, is that I was looking at him because I wanted him, but I was too shy to say something. That was his perspective, but it was not reality. That's how he saw it and how he wanted to see it. I texted him, "Who is this LOL?" Because I didn't know who he was. I had seen him, but I didn't know who he was. So we got into this texting conversation, and actually I prefer people to call me. it shows they care, so I prefer calling to texting. I mean, once you know somebody really well and you're together or you're in each other's lives, and sometimes you just need to text something, that's fine, at any rate. So this was not the case. So we were texting back and forth for just a little bit, and he said, "Yeah, you're really pretty, and I caught you checking me out. Even in the store when you dropped all your stuff, I knew you wanted me." And I texted him, the truth is, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't even know he was in the store. Once I went in the store, I forgot. I forgot about him. It was out of my mind. And he was in the store apparently, but I didn't know he was in there. When I dropped all my stuff, it's because I had so many in my hand, so they dropped. And so I told him that, like, I didn't even know you were in there. So perspective is not always reality. Whereas I had always wanted to be loved, and I thought that if somebody, a narcissist, did something to me but then came back and tried to get me back in their life, it's because, oh, they love me. And even if I could see the truth, I didn't want to see it. My perspective was skewed. And so this is what it is. Don't let your perspective, but do let reality be your guide. Let your intuition be your guide. But if you're going to do that, and you should, then listen to your intuition and act on it. It's so important. I do want to say so much more. But I also want to say this. Suffering has a way of bringing about a beauty, because suffering has a way of creating a system of checks and balances, of refining you, of measuring, of analyzing, of evaluating, of adjusting, and then readjusting, measuring it again, and adjusting some more, putting it up and down until it's balanced, until it's put right. Suffering refines you. Would I choose suffering if I had a choice? Would I have chosen it? No. But I see now it has a way of refining you and bringing about a beauty, because it brings the truth to you and it puts it in front of you when you're ready to accept it and act on it. And that's what's happened for me. And I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to it. And I hope love for myself. I hope love for the other person. And I'm just happy that I've gone my own way. And it'll never be any other way in this case. And that's fine, and that's good, because I'll never wake up every morning wondering what's going to happen today with this person. Is it going to be up or is it going to be down? And that's how it is when you have a narcissist in your life, or narcissists. Sometimes it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3 to disentangle. Just depends on the capacity that your relationship is in, where you're at in your life. But if you can, cut them off. It's not worth it, because it's never going to change. It is going to be what it is, and they have games to play, and you'll be part of those games. Just cut it off. Make it good for yourself, because when these doors close, other doors open. Good doors. And that's what's happening for me. Slowly, very slowly, but surely. And I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being here with me. I would love that if you're not subscribed already, to subscribe. I would love to see your questions, comments, suggestions. anything positive, even your critiques. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you back here very soon, sooner than you know it. Bye.